Thanks, Paul. I call to order the special meeting of June 10th, 2025 of the Trumbull Housing Authority. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, we are emptying our office for new carpet, so I don't have a flag. Laurel's got a flag. Thank you, Laurel. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Laurel. Have a roll call, Barbara.
Kathy McGannon.
Here.
Laurel Anderson.
Here.
Sarah Flieger. I know she's here somewhere. Maureen Bova.
Here.
And Charlene Peterson.
Here.
Okay, so if we can talk about this solar energy program, I was hoping we would have numbers. I don't, off the top of my head, remember when he said it had to be started in order to be able to continue. I think it was October 1. Okay.
October 2025, he said.
October 2025. Okay. So we have his numbers, Paula. We have a couple of sets of numbers.
Yes, and I have Pure Point. His name is Daniel Scaruso. That's the one who stated that he needs to come on site to give us a price, a quote.
Okay.
I spoke with Earthlink, and that's Tim. And he stated that he gave me some new notes. I spoke to it as well yesterday. Okay. With Earthlink, he said that the thing is it's in steps. So the whole project will be done in 2026. Because there's a lot of engineering, the process with engineers is going to take place. And he said that the whole project will be done in 2026. But the thing is with Earthlink, the engineering process with the utility interconnection will cost $10,000. So Trumbull Housing will have to contribute to the engineering phase of $3,000. And at the end of the project, if everything goes well, the $3,000 comes back to Trumbull Housing. And that's when you sign the contract. Now, when I spoke to Harriet concerning Nexus, but she is going to go through, she has.
Hold on, Paulette, hold on a second. With Earthlink, did they give you figures of what we would get paid per month or what the tenants would?
Okay, it's a 20-year program. And let's see, is this him? Okay. The property owner, with this us, will receive revenue of between $7,000 and $14,000 per year for 20 years. The residents will split about $20,000 per year for 20 years.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we get, some sort of comparison report so that we know,
Is it Earthlink or
so
Next?
that we can see clearly what the comparison is?
Okay, so
I can barely hear you.
you mean comparison with Nexus and Earthlink, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I get that for you. Now, when I spoke with Harry yesterday, she said that she's going with the program. From my understanding from her conversation, there are many houses in Shelton. I think she said the one on Meadow Road in Shelton housing, they're going to put the solar panel. She said that it's a no-brainer, and she said that the attorneys, Nexus attorneys, will pay for everything. So if we went through Nexus, of course, you got to go through attorney fees because with the UI and with Chaffer and everything else. So the thing is, Nexus will pay for everything, even the attorney fees. She said that she's starting it in another 1 to 2 months at the housing on Meadow Road, and it should be completed by the end of this year. She feels very confident with this company, and like she says, a no-brainer. This she doesn't understand why no one through them. She felt very confident with them. The fact that the residents will receive, some benefits from the solar panels from that company.
Okay, I almost think what we need to do is kind of a comparison chart,
Mm-hmm.
what the costs would be, what the benefit to the resident is, what the benefit to the housing authority is, so that we can sit and look at the three different companies and see what the pros and cons are for them,
Sure.
which we probably should do very soon, so that we're not bumping up against the deadline of losing the program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hi, guys.
Jim.
Sorry,
hi, Jason.
sorry, I
on
had a meeting. I
Paula,
couldn't-
for the first one, so did you schedule for them to come out to look at the property and give us a formal proposal?
Right now, according to Daniel, he said he's very swamped right now because he's doing solar panels for other housing, but he said he's trying to get to me by July.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I spoke with him today. So what I can do, I can just be a pest and call him tomorrow and ask him. I did explain to him the urgency of this. So I would just call him again tomorrow and ask him to make some time this month for him to stop by.
He should know the urgency of it.
Right, because that's his business. You're right.
He
Exactly.
should know- He should know what's happening and what
Right, around the world. That's correct. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, so I missed that. Sorry. So he didn't weigh in as far as or seem concerned with the timing.
Well, he made no mention of that, but the timing he just said that he's kind of swamped with things and he need to come by to see the property. So the thing is, I would just go ahead and call him again and just put an urgency bug in his ear, know that if he can come sometime this month.
If he doesn't understand that this is a particular program,
Well, he knows that because he asked me, did I know about it? So I said, yes, I did.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's literally shovels in the ground over at Ridgefield.
Richfield, right, Richfield.
If it's Pure Point, I missed the beginning
It's
of
Pure
that.
Point. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Pure Point, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
They are the ones they went with.
Mhm.
So the only concern I would have, again, for you all,
Mhm.
again, I'm not trying to take this over here, is it's good that you're doing your due diligence and nobody wants to kind of do things with a quote unquote gun to their head. But obviously, you know, I don't know if there's a big difference between the two, right? So if we're talking $30,000 a year, is that worth losing everything because you tried to get a little extra money type of deal?
Mhm.
But again, the onus is on what he thinks as far as timing, right?
Right.
Paulette, could you call Ridgefield and ask them why they went with Field Point?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I actually, I
Mhm.
have that information,
You do? That's what you sent me, right?
because I have their bids. So
Right,
they
that's
went out to bid. They did a formal bid proposal. They got 3 quotes. One of them was Nexus, or is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Nexus. Nexus. Uh-huh.
He was one of them, and I think he did come in second out of the 3.
Mhm.
The difference was pretty substantial, I think. The
Mhm.
only difference with RHA is they're self-financing everything. So they don't have an investor. They're going to pay for it themselves. They're going to get all the credits, all that, and Nexus wouldn't even entertain that.
Okay.
So they only gave a lease only quote. which is in essence what they're doing for you.
Well, let's see how quickly we can get the field point out
Yep, okay.
information from him. Tell them that your board wants to make a decision quickly.
Yes, we will do. Yep.
I think he'll know, I mean, not to keep this ongoing, you're
Mhm.
just a very, it looks like lucrative project, you're a very large project.
Yes.
Again, takes time to appropriately quote, et cetera, I respect that. But for anything, it's at least 3 times the size of Ridgefield's project,
Okay.
at least. So it's just the way your campus is designed. It's not only bigger, but it looks like from the shading that Nexus tried to sell you, that there's an opportunity for a much bigger deal, so to speak,
Mhm.
which would make everybody happy, obviously.
Yes.
So it's just unfortunate, right, that all this stuff comes up at the 11th hour, right?
Yes.
Yes, right.
So
Okay. Okay, so we'll try to push that quickly and see what
Yes. Mm-hmm.
information we can get. Okay, so then let's move on to the excess funds and what potential projects we can pay for. And Jason, that would be you.
okay, required funds out the door, you're looking at almost $30,000 that you have to spend in order to not give money back. 27,000 is what I would estimate.
Mm-hmm.
That you physically have well over $120,000 sitting in the bank account. So if there was a project you wanted to do, you could safely spend double that. But I would think the 28,000 is what you should earmark to do. Assuming again, it's only June 10th. I don't know if there's any big expenses
There is. There is.
by the end of the month.
It's like as soon as possible. We have a tenant. Her bathtub is unleveled, and so therefore, when she takes a shower or a bath, the water goes out to the floor. So that creates a problem, and it's going to create mold and everything else. So that's the emergency. That's as urgent to get done as soon as possible. So we need to take care of that for her.
Oh, I meant uncontrolled, Paulette, like things that I don't know. A tree
Oh.
fell on a roof, like things I maybe haven't heard of.
Oh, no.
You too. Somebody else destroyed the plumbing somewhere.
Mhm.
So none of those in the last 2 weeks that I'm unaware of. Which again, wouldn't be astronomical. We're not suggesting that you spend every dollar you have.
Right.
I'm saying that number ends up between 27 and 40, depending on how aggressive you wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go as a board. Laurel's way too quiet. She hiding? Oh, she's there. Okay.
I'm just thinking.
Yep.
Okay, so this is 27,000 more than has already been spent of the excess cash.
Correct.
Okay. It could be, you're telling us, as much as 40,000.
I'm saying you have the cash available in your bank account that wouldn't go too low that we were uncomfortable. If for some reason, I don't know, the quote came in 30,000 or 35,000 or even 4, I don't know. You know what I mean? I guess I'm trying to give you 27 as I think you'd be remiss not to spend 27 is my point.
So
Because you
minimum
may owe
27.
some of that back if you don't spend it. If I'd recommend that if you have eligible items that are prudent, that you have plenty of cash reserves that you wouldn't have to dip into your reserves by any means.
Okay, but what's the state of the accounts payable?
That's offsetting accounts payable. So
Offsetting accounts payable, we have 100,000 left in the checking account?
No, hold on. Well, let me just have it open. No. I just closed the wrong thing. You have 132,000 and about, including pilot things that we don't have to pay yet, about $100,000 in payables.
Okay. So in available cash over and above what we owe, because I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to spend 120,000 if we owe 100. So
Right. That's where the 27 comes in.
not prudent.
It's the 27 comes in. I gave you a $5,000 buffer because I didn't want to come
Okay.
exactly zero. That's why I said 27. I think I could come up with accrued expenses if you came within $5,000. We'll put it that way.
I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
Yeah. My point is with at the 100 and what did I say, 23 number?
32.
132 number. That if you were at 90,000, you'd still be above your minimum. Right? So if you spent $40,000 today, you'd still have cash in your bank account where it would be okay for the ebbs and flows.
But how does that interface with our budget that we approved for the year? I mean, we have excess.
Yes, so the interface, the 30,000 of it, the roughly between 27 and 30 is your excess cash. That
Right,
is
got it.
above budget. That
Right.
extra 10,000 is kind of cost savings, I'm saying. Most of it's health insurance.
Oh, okay.
That's the biggest saving for the year.
Okay.
I'm taking rough numbers and I'm assuming there's nothing big for the next 20 days. But because I'm giving $5,000, here and there, I'm being very conservative.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. So our goal is two-pronged. We have additional cash that we could use to do renovations. And our second goal is not to give any money back to the state.
Yes.
Okay. So if we know for sure we've got $27,000 that we're going to have to give back to the state if we don't spend it. So the sense is then to maybe go up to 40 because it's possible that by the end of the year, the end of the fiscal year, we might have another 10,000 in excess cash by June 30th that we would have to give back to the state.
I don't think you would, no, I'm not saying you'd give that back. I'm
Okay.
only suggesting if you want to err on the high side because you maybe a third unit could be done. You know what I mean? Let's just say it costs, I don't know,
Okay.
$15,000 a unit, or that's bad math, 13,000 a unit. You get 2 for 26, but you want to do that extra one just because it's convenient. It's a good decision, management wise, that even though it's not excess cash, even though it's not required to be spent, that's about the leeway I would suggest you could go if the needs were there.
Okay. So we would
Not
have
required.
cash in the account. We would be able to cover AP. That was your point on that excess.
Yes.
Okay. So Dawn and Jackie, I think you've been probably worked on, numbers for this. How much do you need? Don't say 100,000.
All
of it.
No, we've been working the numbers and looking, we were waiting to see about how much we would have, and then we're gonna prioritize what we have. We do have one a person looking to do a little bit of renovation in that bathroom. I'd like one more quote on that, just to make sure that we're getting like within the realm of what we want to spend for that. Plus, we have a couple of other projects that need to be done. There's a little sewer digging that we could do. We were looking at doing some floors, but we think maybe fixing the pipe before we do a floor might be a really good suggestion while the ground is soft, in case we run into a problem down the road, or, come fall time, it starts freezing or something. Again, that's preventive. And then we thought finish one other, what was the unit, Jackie, you said that we were gonna look at?
15.
15. And finish that unit, so that would also be ready to move as soon as our wait list is ready for publishing in July.
Oh, we got that money spent. That's,
What was the total, Dawn?
Depending on what the quotes come in, what was it was, I don't know if we can say exactly how much, but we were looking to spend about 30 between the sewer, between the bathroom and fixing unit 15.
I would say at least.
Okay, is the one Paulette just mentioned,
Yes, that's
that's
the
one
one.
of the ones you're talking about?
That's correct.
Okay, so Jason's telling us we have 27,
Mm-hmm.
but you're asking for 30.
Well, whatever you're comfortable, we can make it at 27. That way we have a little bit of a cushion. You just give me a number and I will make sure that we don't go over whatever you're comfortable spending.
Everybody?
That would be 10,000.
I can do 10,000. We'd be very happy with that as well.
Yeah, then we
I
have
guess
to-
I'd prefer the 30 over the 40.
We're just gonna dig with spoons.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the expense of $30,000 on remaining the renovations that were discussed this evening.
Mhm.
I'll second.
Are we good with that or any more?
There was a second.
No,
If you didn't hear it.
What's the matter, Jason?
There was a second. I don't know if you heard it.
yeah.
Yes, Sarah seconded. Anyone have anything to add? Or we can vote.
We can-
So I'll call for a vote on authorizing $30,000 to do the repairs discussed.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Okay, you've got your 30,000 to do some work with.
So Jason, since we're on accrual, you basically just need to get the invoices from staff to get them into our system by June 30th.
Yep.
Okay.
We
For
will
at
do,
least 27 out of the 30.
and we will update you as we get our pricing. If that's okay, we'll forward that to you to make sure that we're within budget, okay?
Dawn, you feel comfortable you can get it done by June 30th?
As long as we have the invoicing in, correct, Jason, as
Yep.
long as we've put forward that we're under contract to do a certain amount of work, that's okay, even if we don't have to pay it out by June 30th, if you're
Right,
okay
you're
with
good.
that, we'll make sure that we do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Wonderful.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our special meeting. Charlene,
Make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
all
Thank
right,
you very much.
thank you, everybody.
All right.
It was
Sorry again for the delays.
Informative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Happy
Thank
Father's
you.
Day.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Jackie's children.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you, Paul.
Armando and Anthony.
Thanks, Paul. How do I get out of here? I don't have a leave again. All right, Paul, shut me down because I can't find my leave button. Is it under there? No. Recording, interview.